Because normally when I'm doing workshops, we're starting from scratch, but you've just spent a lot of time with me. And so there's the ideas that I had working with, for what we would do right now. But I'm going to start with people. And so I'd like to start with, putting in the center the people who are here. And I'd just like to hear just some quick, any observations you have so far, or ideas that you have about what you'd like to do right now together. Because I have some. I had a plan, but I'd like to quickly revisit that plan. Anything you'd like to share with me about either what you've observed so far or ideas about what you'd like to do in this workshop? Otherwise, I will lay out my plan.
Apply the compass.
Apply it? Okay.
To expand on this, to see the strengths and weaknesses and opportunities, I can analyze it.
SWOT the compass?
Yes.
Yeah. One thing I'll say here is try it. Your own experiences too, I think are the best for that. But yeah, okay, SWOT the compass.
A good idea would be to apply compass on our own ideas in personal life or in our business.
Yep. That's definitely the bulk of what I hope to do for sure. Yeah. Cool. Any other ways you wish to spend this time? Okay, so here's what they're all. So some of you might have some sticky notes that you made before, that challenge landscape, about your own challenges in your life or your work, big ones or little ones. And so if you haven't already done that, I was hoping you would get some stuff to work with together today. That's the stuff we work with, right? Our challenges that we have right now. We can, normally I actually don't introduce the compass this way. Normally I have people build it from their own experiences. So after we've done this, what are all your challenges? I ask people, well, how do you solve those now? When you have a breakthrough on those challenges, what happens? Like I did it with the students. And then, we build the compass from that. You already know what it looks like. So that's not going to work, but you could take a moment to try to map your own creative process to it, whatever that is, even if it's very random, and see if it works. We could do one together with a volunteer, someone like I did in one of the examples there. That helps to get it all together. But we can also, these were in order at one point, go deep on one with a partner. So work on something that's individual to you and bounce it back and forth off of someone who's sitting next to you, for example. Maybe practice some quick ones. Of course, Q&A throughout. Feel free to ask questions anytime. And then when we leave, I'm going to leave a compass up for you to leave. I mean it. One person handed me their observations from the talk, but to leave some feedback for me in the form of ideas, observations, anything like that. So this is when we leave. Do you have your sticky notes that you made? This don't stick. This is where you're going to see my creativity now. Okay. Do people have their post-its that they made? So, anything in this space? What were some of your challenges? Can you bring them up? Are we getting very private, or are we just having problems? Because these are the things that we will apply to. Did this make sense? So did you have just things that you're working on, either you're thinking about right now, that are either, some technical challenge that I have, something I'm thinking about for myself that's either a small decision or my career, that's way out here. Some interpersonal thing between me and a colleague, between me and my partner, between me and my child, it doesn't matter, between me and my boss, between me and my team, between me and my family, me and my organization or community, global things I'm thinking about. Do people have things they could work on during this workshop? I've never had this not completely populated. Because I want to bring anybody up. Do you remember these pictures where we're not getting? We did not projecting. Do you have challenges that you could work on? Okay. Well, maybe we won't bring them up here if everybody's looking really shy. If you'd like to, you can bring them up here and see what everybody else has, or you can just hang on to them. But as long as you have things that kind of fill the space. Everybody has something done?
Shall I just share mine?
Sure, you can just bring them up if you'd like. Just to see what this group has. So if you have any, it's really hard for you to come up with, you can also hand it to me. I'm going to put them all up so it's not so personal. And I'll read them off when we have them. Job evaluation. Great. Good. Oops. Okay. Anything else? It's okay if you don't feel like sharing, but I just want people to kind of see what's in the room, what we have. My PhD, awesome. People can come up and look them up here. You can get out. They just know. So this is not the space we originally, the way we were going to have it laid out. So. Okay, so I'm going to read some of these out. I don't know what my passion, life's purpose is. My career, job evaluation, stuff like that. Know-how. Cool one. I don't know what that is. Just how to develop know-how as a person. Okay. And put that under my PhD. One is like academic and one is really like. Okay. Communicate with work partners. Usually in places. To get things done. Somewhere around here. Okay. Get things done. Do things. Person. Okay. So some of the stuff that's up here. Housework, getting things done, doing things, some personal things, fitting exercise in my schedule, balance, develop, enjoy my personal life. This is a little further out. yeah, studies, work, finding your passion, upcoming deadline at work, communicating with partners, helping your kids be creative in school. Is that what this one was? Is that yours?
I want my kids to have more creative time in school, but I think they don't.
Oh, that's probably more up here. Like, how do we fix school? Yeah. Yeah. Instead of living for my family, more time with my kids, how to treat your team as a leader. Okay, so this is some of the stuff in this room. Very cool. Love it. Okay. So now, would we like to go through one of these just together as a group? Not super deeply, but just to sort of see if we feel like we understand what kind of all these pieces of this are, and then we can do some individually. Would anyone like to volunteer theirs? You get the benefit of 20-ish, 20, 25 people on your phone. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Act now. Limited offer. You don't have to. It's okay if you don't have one. It's okay. Going once, going twice. People don't want to be public with theirs. It's okay. We can go a little bit more into time. Okay.
I would like to volunteer.
Okay. Which one would you like to volunteer?
My career.
My career.
Yes.
So the first couple are going to be a little bit hearing from you, but people can ask questions, so you can ask her some questions. Does everybody have their card? So for content, I'm going to try to work mostly from that. Because we talked about experiments, cheap, simple experiments, doing more with less. I could bring up other slides to help, but I'd like to use nothing but the paper we have in front of us and that card to help. So maybe people can ask her a few questions. We're going to do that. We're not going to go super deep on this, but I just want to make sure we understand what we mean by these sort of spaces. Do more, yeah. Somebody picked them up. Who brought them from the other space? Do we know? So we can have a few more in my purse. Did somebody bring them over? At least so that people can work on their own, but just to kind of get a feel for it. So what are some things we might ask her about this? Let me just go. This is on your card. You should be able to see it, but. These are pretty much the same questions that are on your card.
So,
But,
what do you do?
or what are you thinking about? What are you feeling right now?
I'm thinking about the changing career field. And
Why?
why,
Right? Why? It's in your card too. Why?
Because I think that I've been stuck in a rut more or less, and I want to find something more challenging. Something that actually I feel excited and passionate about.
I'm hearing, right, a couple of principles already coming out. I mean, I could write them in both places, but I'm guessing that something that matters a lot to you is that you're excited about it and you're passionate.
What are you interested in?
Currently, I'm doing my master's degree here in school counseling and career guidance, and I think I'm really interested in school counseling.
Why?
Because I think it can really make a difference in students' lives.
Why? Why this way? There's lots of ways you can make a difference in student lives.
Why this way?
Right? We're looking in new ways, right? I'm asking about the details. We're digging deeper than you usually do. We don't usually ask why this many times. About what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Why do you feel
Because I think there's a gap there. I mean, the educational system, as I have experienced it at least, does not really support the students emotionally. And it's all about covering material and the curriculum, so I think that what really matters is being there for the students and being able to support them.
What's another question you might ask her?
Or perhaps this is also because I didn't have the support that I wanted when I was a student.
Looking at the past and the present, right, in new ways. Maybe, have you thought about that a lot before? Or are you thinking about that now? Suddenly it's because you didn't have this support?
No, I have thought about it, to tell you the truth.
I'm just curious. Okay.
Yes.
Any other probing questions?
What's your current career path?
I'm an English teacher.
Okay. That's a really good question. What are you doing now? What's happening? What's happening right now? I love it. Yeah, and
What was the point where you decided that you needed to change, to make a career move? Why? Why do you think?
Actually, the first step was for me to come here because I'm from Greece and I work as a teacher in Greece. So I'm on educational leave here in Cyprus. And I was all these years that I've been working as a teacher in state schools. The experience was extremely frustrating for me. And I decided that I needed to learn more on how to relate with students. And this started this whole process of me coming here and doing my master's degree in school counseling and guidance. I didn't really thought about working as a school counselor.
okay.
Yes, more or less that's the story.
We skipped this for a minute. Who else? I just want to pause for a minute. Who else is in the middle here? Who else is touched by this question?
You.
Students, yes.
Family, independence.
Family. I'm asking you too. Who else could be touched by this decision?
Government.
Is that it?
Government.
Government.
Well, yes.
Okay. Most intimately touched by it is definitely you. And do you have a family?
I have a boyfriend here in Cyprus.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. So you can add anything that, if I know when I made my move from IDEO to independent, that had a very big impact, actually, in some very positive ways, but also other ways with my family. So that can be also really important when you're thinking about your career or the people that you currently teach. Right? If I leave, oh my gosh, what will happen? Or your upcoming students. So we could keep going. I think I'll just ask one last one, which is, what are the moments? So the most positive moments that you had in your work so far? When are you the most excited to build? Literally a moment.
When I can help a student that needs help, that's the most exciting thing.
Intimately, one-to-one.
Yes, one-to-one. When I suddenly see them interested in what we're doing, when they are making progress.
And how about least?
Least.
Moments when I wish I was not here. I'm just probing the same thing. What's happening? The full range. That's it's on your thing, right? It's the range. What's the most positive? What's the most negative?
When I have to teach them things that they already know, and when they're not interested at all, and when I can't understand what's really behind the way that they behave.
Okay. she might have some, but has anyone else picked out principles of what are really listening to this, growing from your observations? What matters?
Knowing how to handle, knowing how to handle, you know.
I should ask one more thing here. Why, what's stopping you, sort of thing, this question? What's happening now? Why aren't you doing something else?
I mean, why haven't I already taken this step? First of all, in Greece, there is no such thing as a school counselor.
Okay. That would be a factor.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I decide to stay here in Cyprus, I have to take an educational leave for 1 more year. It's not sure that they will give it to me.
Okay. So right now, okay, need more leave.
And meanwhile, I need to do something to earn.
More money.
Yes.
Okay, so that could be a principle too. That's real, right?
Yes.
Just make some money.
Otherwise,
Anything else that you heard?
heard?
Anything else that you heard? And then we'll move more quickly through. It's impossible to do decent work without something here. But did you hear a little bit about how I was just asking questions? It was the same stuff. Exploring the range of what's happening now, what she's doing, saying, thinking, and feeling, and why, right? Just those words. Principles besides it? Anything else? So being something she's excited and passionate about, but actually when we got deeper, that means making a difference, supporting students, knowing how to do that, and oh, we need to make money. Anything else you heard as a principal? What about this? There's no counselors in Greece. How do you feel about that?
I think there's a dead end.
Limited options.
Yeah, limited options, so we need, a path forward.
On the other hand, I could incorporate all that I have learned here in my practice as an English teacher. There, that's another
Great. Let's go. Ideas. So one is incorporate into English teacher, English teaching, I think it is.
because I do have freedom to decide what to do or not to do in class. So I do have some freedom.
Great. Keep going. Now, you have everything. Let's help.
The gap is an opportunity always.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you looked, you might have noticed some older versions had challenge or opportunity here. And both of those words are actually, in some contexts, one is not good, like in social context, often actually both of those, problem and opportunity are not great. Yeah, they're two sides of the same coin. Go ahead, yeah, ideas for her.
Explore the opportunities here as a counselor or explore the opportunities here as a counselor.
Here.
In Greece. Or in Greece.
Okay, counselor in Cyprus. Yep, keep going. We're going to just go quick. Yeah.
I would proceed by asking her how does she imagine herself being after like 10 years, 20 years? Like what is her vision of herself? What does she want to do
In 10 years.
Yeah, like
It's amazing how hard that is, right?
if you had to draw like a snapshot of your life in 20 years, how exactly would you like it to be? And start from
Okay,
there.
I would like to have a family, that's right.
Yeah, and I was going to go deeper into some of those methods in the next round, but this is so specifically going into visual and physical as well. So I love that, and you can go for it, try to answer it.
And I think that I see myself being working in a team, because I really love working in a team. It brings out the best in me. And finding solutions to problems. That's what I see myself doing. Ideally, that's what I would like to do, to tell you the truth. And being creative.
Thanks academics are asking more questions in this space. Yeah, what really matters, right? Now and in the future. Being creative. So,
What are you willing to give up from the things you have or not to give up?
I want to, just so that you have time to work on your own problems too, so you can ask, so you guys are getting the hang of this. You can ask really good questions. And guess what? You're going to ask yourself those questions. She's getting value out of this, but not that much. We're going to move on. Can you offer some ideas, some quick ideas and experiments, right? Like, you know, throwing everything into the notion of building a whole practice around counseling in Greece is one. I wouldn't try that experiment tomorrow, right? Smaller experiments, right? So what are some ideas or experiments that she could try? So maybe idea, big picture, like counseling, you know, as a practice in Greece, right? You could try to help that get started. It should be there. Why isn't it? It's okay to put that up here. Probably not a good idea to put that in here, right? So this is anything goes. Could be things that go right here right away or not. Big stuff, small stuff, whatever. Ideas for her, right? Could be just trying to get a counselor position like part-time. What if I convince my school, I spend, if I can work it in my schedule somehow, I spend 2 hours a week doing this. Small experiment. So I'm going to offer that one. Well, that could be either place. That could go straight down here if you choose it as your turn. I guess I kind of meant that down
Yes,
here.
it seems like sounds like something that I could do. 2 hours. Yes.
Right, so I actually meant different tactics. But, okay, so you get the idea? Help. I'm not going to have all the ideas.
Find companies that are they are using kids or students to spend their time or do their homework and offer them to help them. Or, yeah, or hire them.
Yeah, so go corporate. Yep. Companies. Anything else?
I would ask if you have tried the counseling before. It's something that you think you like it, or you know you like it because you tried it and you see you have the impact that you envision.
This past year we have been doing a 500-hour practicum in Cypriot State School, so I have an idea of what
you have.
Yes.
But so there would be some concrete things here. This 2 hours a week is one way of doing it, but what are some other ways, quick ways to continue to try counseling? You could probably think of a few. That was one.
I could try to children of my friends.
How do you?
Yes.
I experiment on
Yes.
kids all the time. Friends. Kids. Totally, right? You're getting the feel for this. Yeah.
Well, I guess since there's not a public school counselor in Greece, I would suggest maybe try and do it as a private, business. So she can
Go
go,
independent.
so she can go and create her own.
That's a big picture,
Venture.
definitely, but could be
Yeah,
that.
I'm right
But
here, but again, if you start small, you never know.
Yes.
Or find, you like working in a team. There's got to be another human being in Greece who's interested in this. I guarantee it, you're not alone, right? So that private, and maybe they have a little more experience, and they're doing it. Somebody else is probably trying to do, or they have called it school counseling, right? But they're doing something kind of like this.
Well, actually,
Find a
I can
friend.
think of 2 friends of mine that are teachers, but
How about
Yes.
private schools? Private schools don't have counseling?
yes, no, in Greece, I don't think so. I'm not sure to tell you the truth.
So we could keep going, right? So private schools. And that's certainly true in the US, that private schools are doing a lot of things, publics unfortunately are not. And you can start there, and then you can move out. A couple more, and then,
You can volunteer at a non-profit organization that deals with
yeah.
children that are social disadvantaged.
Yes, right? Volunteering. So those are all ways to build your practice and, you know, in small, safe ways, right? Hopefully not ones that lead you to, you know, really screw a kid up, right? But okay, so you're starting to get, so some of these things about a little bit of volunteering, a little role in my school. I practice with my friends' kids, and there's probably a whole different, you know, if we zoom back out to the big picture, all of these probably fit into like a bucket that's something like, I'm going to do something like school counseling, and I'm going to find a small, safe way to do it. I bet there's a couple of other buckets that we can start to look at. If we zoom back out and think, what if there was something totally different? Right? So that's what you want to do once in a while, and just go, okay, what if I take these same things, but could it be something totally different? And I don't want to take a ton of time there, but that's the point of going back and forth, is once in a while going, okay, if all these things kind of fit into this bucket, you know, is there something totally different that I could, you know, that I could do? I'm not sure what that might be, but does anyone have an idea of something that?
Maybe something web-based, so it's not, you know, one-to-one, but it's web-based, technology-based counseling to students all over the world.
I mean, I do a lot of my coaching that way, and it's actually really neat. Or coaching, yeah, other teachers or whatever it is, right? So once in a while, zoom out and see if you really looked at the big picture or not. Okay, so that was, she's gotten a lot of value from this already.
Another one is job shadowing. I'm sure that European Union and there are programs that maybe not in Greece, but she can try other European countries and she will even get much more ideas by doing that.
Yep.
She can try this for a week, 2 weeks. I'm sure that she can discern your life.
So you can go deeper and you can get more, but did you get any new ideas today? Did you have all of these already?
More or less.
You had most of these.
The web-based practices, this was something that I haven't thought of before.
Anything else that was new?
And the fact that I could find someone else that is interested in counseling and work with them and learn from them.
Or practice.
Yes. Or even in the school where, if I decide to go back to Greece, in that school I can find some people that share the same mindset and try to work something out with them.
That can be my right answer. Okay, actually maybe we should leave, I'm going to leave this up as an example and then we can take that. So, okay, so we spent a bunch of time, she's gotten a lot of value from you guys. Did it help to go through one together? I know it's really valuable to spend time on your own, but just a quick check. Was that clarifying to anyone about what we mean? That was just verbal. And so now what I think we'd like to do, just checking time here.
This was very helpful.
Yeah, and even we asked questions all around, right? Like, did we miss something? What else could happen? What else could happen?
And this is
What's a way to try? Actually, sort of questioning,
going back and forth. This was actually something that
right?
something completely new for me.
And that's why it's not a process.
And then something again.
It's a workspace, right? And this is, you got exactly the feel for how it's different. Because I mean, in the end, the more that you explore, the more you're going to find new possibilities. But you can find new possibilities in all these spaces. You find new possibilities by looking here and here, right? One of you guys asked, you know what, I think I can't come up with good ideas yet. I need to ask you more about this. And so you went back and forth. Yeah, so you got a feel for it. And I wanted a chance to do that before you dug in, so you get the most out of your learning. So you have paper in front of you, and I'm going to put up those guidelines I mentioned. I'm going to write them right now. But take something from the landscape that was yours, your own, and the guidance I want to give, maybe work first on your own, and then feel free to turn to your partner. I'm going to try to pace us a little bit. But maybe not. I was going to try to pace you through the different pieces, but rather than do that, you now know what they all are. I want to let you sort of bounce around. You might have an idea already about this, how to fit exercise into my schedule. Put the idea down. You can put that down first. The one thing I just encourage you to do, the only thing it takes to do this right, is to really ask these questions hard, to really feel like you're seeing things in new ways. You know, we feel like we didn't quite get there, and we probably could have done more. If you're not, then this is a great time to turn to your partner. But the next thing I want to just add, so that's the same as what we just did. The thing I want to add is the being visual and physical as well. So we just did that verbally because I wanted to get through it quickly. But I would challenge you to think about what you might draw that might go in any of these. And I think for those of you who were in the last one with Eitan, you did some drawing, right? So, what is going on right now with respect to my exercise? I just picked that one, right? But a picture of myself in bed going, I don't feel like getting up, I don't want to get up, I don't want to get up, I don't want to get up, Principles. This is one of the best and most powerful places for pictures. Or physically, you've got paper in front of you, you can crumple paper, you can make shapes out of it. I've used Play-Doh in the past. I try to use the fewest materials I can because I want people to believe they can do this on their own. You can even use your own body. Some of the most powerful systems thinking work that I've seen uses people embodying the system, complex systems with their bodies and then changing. It's amazing. I was very skeptical and it's very powerful. So you can even use your own body to capture, what the essence of what's happening right now, literally like I was doing. I don't know if this is the exercise problem. It might be something totally different than I don't want to get out of bed. It might be totally different, but then from that to what is it like to be energized? So what does it look like in the future? It could be a picture, it could be a gesture, it could be a sculpture. But I want to encourage you to use more than words. Isn't that a song? Ideas too. At IDEO, you never could share an idea until it had a name and a picture. Every idea, what's a little picture for what that looks like? And for your experiments as well. So I'm just going to challenge you to use more than words. And you can move around however you want. And at some point when you're feeling like I've done what work I can on my own, turn to your neighbor. And I'm going to walk around a little bit. Does that feel okay? I'm going to walk around and see how I can help. Okay. I'm going to put these up here to help as well. That's the same thing. Oh, and make sure to do the middle. I will say do the middle first. Anyone who might be touched by this, put them in the center first. Do start there. Because when you do all these other things, you should not be just thinking about what you say make you feel, but what they say make you feel. And what principles matter to you, but for them too. So if you're going to start somewhere, please do start in the middle. And this is on the website. This is just a quick set of tips. Use it for everything, map as you go, own it, orient yourself, verbally, visually, physically explore. Embrace everyone and everything that might be part of the situation, the system, or the solution, right? Friends, kids, other people who might be interested in this. My school as my partner, right? Embrace everyone and everything that might be part of it, and then iterate, jump around. Okay. I'm going to walk around, and we'll do this for in like 10 minutes, and then we'll do some wrap up. stuck, just get started. If you're feeling stuck, move to a different area. Feel free to raise your hand too if you want me to come to you. So turn what you're saying now into whether you feel like it belongs on this side of paper or this, yeah. So as soon as you start to talk, it can get lost, or it can be a meaningful observation. Yeah.
Use Compass in finding the problem among many also.
Yes.
So
Yes.
after I do that,
Yeah.
a lot of things in my head.
So you can start to just let you sort of observe, this is all the things that are in my head. And then into the prioritizing them. You know, what really matters. Actually, it will really help with that noise in your head, right? So put all those things down, and if you think about what something you feel about, you know, maybe when you look at what matters most, when I look at that list, and even if I close my eyes and stop looking at that list, which are the ones that I feel the most passionate about, that are holding me the most? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? There is no process from going from here to here, to space. But sometimes by just writing them all down and then looking at that range, right? What's happening now? What am I doing, saying, thinking, feeling the most strongly about, the least strongly about, you know? This is something that I'm really worried about. I don't care, right? A lot of times I felt like this was my work when I was in a company, a great company. But the things it was making me think about were the things that I didn't actually think about. So what I actually need to be thinking about is not that deadline. It's actually what I'm going to do next. Forget about all this stuff. It'll be okay. I need to actually think about this over here. So another way of putting it is just even through how you're feeling. Like, there's a lot in my head right now. Don't even worry about making that list, but just observe how you feel about that list and how you think about that list. And when you feel like you're losing most emotion on that list, and when you're not, what works for you in terms of navigating those? Yeah, it's when I actually, for some people, they find that they look at what matters most. It's putting it aside for a while and just, knowing when to put it aside. When some of it is focusing on people first. Like for me, with that list, I have learned for myself that principle is people first. People who you think maybe are stakeholders in it, basically, that are affected by it. And then as you think about your ideas, you may bring other people into the center. But for now, just starting with the people who matter, or whatever you feel is helpful.
For some people it's subjective. I mean, some people don't care about others. They just want to do something for themselves.
That's okay. But we should at least pause to consider if we want to bring anybody else into the circle. And if you don't have to, you don't want to. But it's worth it to think for a moment about it. And you can iterate. Start with just me, and you might get to a point when you realize, oh, it's not just me. So iterate. Start with just me. It's okay.
And another thing, principles. What exactly gets in principles? What matters the most? Just that. I mean,
now and in the future.
Or as it's an idea.
When you look at what's happening now and in the future, even if you look at the things that you're doing, what seems to matter the most? Right? What is driving what's happening now and what needs to happen? So for her, it was, feeling like I'm making a difference. That both, when she looked at what her best moments today, feeling like I'm making a difference. Imagining those moments in the future, feeling like I'm making a difference. Often the secret to the future is in the present, right? You can look at the moments when you're feeling the most satisfied. Those are your principles, even if you didn't realize it, right? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And if you have more time than we had to go into it, you'll start to really notice them. I think the biggest thing too is we're doing this now in this room, but now when you have these things in mind, you start to notice your observations more. I don't think we always pay attention to when we're the most happy, sad, satisfied, frustrated. But if you start to notice more, you'll be more aware of your principles. And that's the thing that's really hard. We're doing it here. More observations will help. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Give it a shot. I don't see too many pictures. I might try. I see a few pictures back there. Oh, all right. I see it. They're in the back row. This is the visual section. This is supposed to be a bird. I just where I went first. I'm sorry. I generalized in a very small thing. What it is. Okay, I'm coming up with okay, it's on YouTube. Tons of failures. We all the time.
I mean, when you say what could happen, is that where you put the possibility?
Oh, what could happen either way. Yeah, and people do. It wasn't the way I interpreted it, and that's actually one of the reasons I was thinking that it could happen better and the worse. But I do think that I actually like it. It's not a contest, right? And we should talk about where you're starting. So I think one of the stocks was what to start with. What to start with, I think, is one of the places people got stuck, right? I have so many problems. I heard that a couple of times. And what I'd say is, again, just start. So some people have actually done this thing where they set an alarm on their phone that goes off at like 2:33 in the afternoon, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're about to have a conversation with someone. Very quick in your head, right? I can do this in my head now. You want me to take the card out, but just observations, right? What am I doing, saying, thinking, and feeling? What is this person, right? The student I'm about to work with, right? A lot of student counseling and coaching in general is, what's happening? What are you doing? Why? What are you thinking? Why? If you're in conflict with somebody else, what are they doing and thinking and why? What really matters the most, right? Like the one example, right? Really quickly. I mean, just, even if you only have one answer to these questions, I'm feeling stressed. Why? Because of this deadline that I'm never going to meet. What really matters is that, that like this person is feeling satisfied. So an idea would be, maybe I go talk to that person and we actually understand better, how to meet this deadline and maybe we can move it or whatever it is. It's not that I actually have a deadline, it's that they feel satisfied. An experiment is I'm going to give them a call and people talk to me or something like that. So I would say it doesn't matter, use it for stupid small stuff. There's the people over here who went straight into this quadrant. They went straight to like how do we better utilize the entire, all of the unemployed youth of Cyprus, which is great. But you don't have to. You can start on something very simple. So I would challenge you even right now to use not this. One of the reasons these pieces of paper over here are good to say is that I think of this at a lot of different scales. There are things that fit here. What am I going to wear? Whatever it is, maybe not that, right? But really quick things. And things that are sort of this scale. Do you know what I mean? You can think of it as something that, and that's why you can use it on a card. But just think of the next conversation you need to have. Even what you're going to say to your spouse or boyfriend or whomever when you walk in the door tonight. Do you need to use it for everything? No. But you might find some interesting things happen when you do. So I would challenge you to try a little one right now. Can we share, just any, just one word? I'm gonna put a compass up here for you to leave thoughts from me on a sticky note. But do people have any just sort of, we're having, I think, a brief reception, so I'm here for questions and everything else, but can we just get any, I'm reading the looks on people's faces. Can you translate those looks into words? It can be anything. It can be confused, frustrated, it can be awesome. Just any words that you want to share, because I promised we would finish in a minute ago. Just throw them out. Yeah.
Inspired and optimistic.
Oh, wow. Good start.
Just words. Anything?
It's a real good starting place for people that do not know where to start from, or they're feeling lost, or they don't have the problem-solving skills that, you know, some people have naturally. So, yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, I find that it's either people who don't have the skills or we just don't apply them, right? I had
Yeah.
amazing problem-solving skills, and somehow they didn't make their way into other parts of my life and other moments, right? So it's reaching more people, but also reaching more parts of our lives. Thank you. It can be negative too, it doesn't matter. It's all good. I mean, it does matter, I can hear it all.
Amazing tool.
Any other words? I'm going to write them out here on my head.
Introspection.
Introspection. You know what I'll do is just, this will be the start of our compass. I'm going to turn it sideways. This is actual observations, I guess, that you had from today. But please feel free to leave more for me about the tool, about the way I talked about it and tried to share it in the workshop, the talk, anything else. Experiments you'd like to try, anything.
What impressed me the most is that this can be applied in so many cases. I mean, I was thinking personal stuff at home. I'm gonna go home tonight to my wife and I'm gonna say, okay, I observed this kind of thing.
Good idea.
Maybe we can experiment on some other scenarios. Maybe.
So I should say you can use it at different scales and also for levels of explicitness. Like how you must use the word. But I'm experimenting, I'll be honest with my children, with actually using those 4 words because I want them to have the language for what they naturally do, right? We talk about kids naturally do this. Now my kids know. They know if they say they want to try an experiment, they can get away with anything. They just need to tell me what they want to learn. And they know that. My 4-year-old will tell me, I want to try an experiment, I want to learn this. I have an idea. You know, Mom, I have an observation. I can't tell you how many times this gets turned against me. I can't even for me, but like, you know, I call it, I have the observation when she's being Maya monster, she's also called that when I'm mommy monster. I like to observe your mommy monster. So the language is meant to be like for you and your team when it's helpful to be explicit. But if you just are, you know, if you just make observations and talk about, you know, like, hey, what's going on? You know, sometimes this language is more natural than that. You know, like feel free to just use the questions. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I know we're supposed to let people eat or something right now, right?
Yes. Downstairs.
So we can talk more. I would do this forever, I will tell you, but I need to let you go. Can I actually grab, if anyone would like to share the compass with me, it helps me see the way, part of how I do this work is seeing how people have used it. That way I can learn from it. You should take it with you, but I'd like to grab a picture of it if you don't mind sharing.